Able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have started with one more module, that is EC2. EC2 is completely deals with the servers creations. So what type of OS you want it? Okay. So what are the configurations you require for your laptop or personal desktop? How we are maintaining? So in the real-time scenarios also, we are creating virtual servers. Virtual servers are nothing but we can log into the servers, but we can't touch the servers, right? So it's a virtual kind of a servers. So when you're working as an organization, you are going to the organization, they give the desktop or laptop for you for work purpose. But here in the cloud, everything is a virtual. So based upon your requirement, it is in our hands to launch a number of servers based upon our requirement, like what type of you have the requirement and what type of application we are handling, what type of configurations we require. All these things we can do it with the help of EC2. So EC2 is completely deals with the servers. So there will be an n number of servers will be there in the real-time scenario because the account will be one. In single account, there will be multiple projects teams are working on the single account. So every project, there will be no separate AWS account will not be there. Okay, so company level, they have accounts. So if the project wise they are maintaining the AWS account, that is good because for higher environments like UAT or production, they will maintain separate AWS accounts. But for the lower environments for practicing anything, so they are going to maintain a single AWS accounts only. Okay, so in that way, we need to create the EC2 server and how to log into the EC2 servers. Some people know, but the people who are new to the AWS, so they also know how to create the servers and what are the steps we are involved in it. So what is meant by bootstrap scripts? How many servers at a time we can launch it? What is meant by networking? Okay, so those type of things we are going to discuss in the EC2. So yesterday we have seen that there are 7 stages will be there in for creating the EC2. Okay, so important point in the EC2 is security groups. So security group, somebody is asking for you means that is like firewalls. Firewalls is completely deals with the networking. So ports and IP address, which ports you want to give access and which IP address we are getting any request. So whether we want to allow that IP address or we are going to deny the default, it is a deny option only. So if you which IP address you want to give the request, all the things we will handle at the security group level. So let us see the example. Go to the EC2, search here. Okay, so this is the EC2 dashboard when you click it. Okay, so default filter is running filter. Okay, so in the real-time scenario, you'll be working with 2 types of OSs. One is Linux and the other one is Windows. Okay, so for Linux, to connect to this machine, to connect to the Linux machine, so we in the real-time scenario, don't here we are using the putty. So there are many available softwares are available in the internet. Some of the free softwares are there, some of the licensed versions are there. So our ultimate goal is to, you can use any kind of a tool. So we need to know how to connect your Linux server. Okay, so to connect your Linux servers, in our sessions, we are using putty. Okay, sometimes we can use. Okay, so putty, mobile extreme. Okay, okay, or in the real-time scenario, Tectia. Okay, SSH client. There will be any kind of a software will be there. So our ultimate goal is to connect to your Linux server. Okay, so in the Linux also, we have different kind of flavors are there. So if you go for the CentOS machines, okay, so the default login username is always fixed. It is EC2 user. Okay, so if you go for the Ubuntu machines, the default username is Ubuntu. Okay, so like that we have lots of users are there, lots of flavors are also there in the Linux. Each flavor which you are choosing it, the username will vary. Okay, so login process is same. Once you log into that, it will ask for the username. So for all the AWS EC2 machines, the username is fixed one. For this type of OS, the username is fixed. Okay, so most of the cases you are going to work in these two scenarios, CentOS and Ubuntu. CentOS EC2-user and Ubuntu, it is Ubuntu username. Okay, so for Windows, if only it's administrator. Okay, so password will be there. So we need to encrypt the password with the help of key pair file. Okay, so key pair file will be there. So always this one. Okay, so we need to perform now these steps. Once you are able to launch the server, then we need to see the login process for these two servers. How we are going to launch for the Linux server, how we are going to log in with the Windows server. So if we good to now get this one in the real-time scenario, also same scenario. Okay, so now we can go to the AWS things. There are so many ways we can launch the instance. Launch instance, go to the dashboard. Here also we can have the launch instance. So launch instance is nothing but, so in our scenario, it is a server. Okay, so EC2 is a instance or server. Okay, anything is the same thing. Okay, we can click on the launch instance. Anywhere you can click it. Okay, so previously the template is different. Now the new user interface came into picture. So previously the user interface looks good. Now the user interface is new. Don't worry about the user interface. So previously we don't have the name tag. It will be later. So what is the server name you want to create for this server? Okay, so server name I want to give as a test server. Okay, so first step, AMI. Okay, Amazon Machine Image. It is in our language, we can call it as OS, operating system. Which operating system you want to work it? So here we have the Amazon Machine Images. So we can call it as application or OS images. Okay, so here you can see if you want to work with Linux machines, Mac OS machines, Ubuntu machines, Windows machines, Red Hat, SUS Linux, Debian. Okay, so as I told, we have lots of flavors are there. So Debian, so in a real-time scenario, if you don't remember all the names, you can tell that I worked as a CentOS and Ubuntu. Don't worry about that. Okay, so you should know the what type of Linux flavors are there. So Linux is the same kind of a kernel OS. Everything is same only. It's a command-based one. So no UI tool will be there for the things. So everything we are going to work at the commands based only. Okay, so these are the different flavors. For each thing we have a different username is there. Okay, so now if you want to work with Linux machine, Amazon Linux, this is a CentOS one. Okay, so this one is the next one is the, for every AMI there will be unique AMI ID will be there. Okay, so this AMI ID where we are going to use it. So if you want to perform any CLI commands, or if you want to do any automation. Okay, so this AMI ID only will help us. Here we are selecting manually. So if I want to work with, so free tier eligibility, if you take it, so Linux AMI free tier we are selecting. So what is the AMI ID? CCF19, or you can go with 23FE. So you can select this one. We are going with the free tier eligibility. So, but in the real-time scenario, it will not be the free tier eligibility. You can go with any type of thing. Okay, so free tier will not be there. So currently we are going with the free tier. Okay, so second step is the AMI ID we have selected. So second step is instance type. Instance type is nothing but RAM. So how much RAM you require? So here they have segregated into different things. So from minimum 1 GB is there. So maximum up to, we can go with 256, 600,000 RAMs also available. You can understand if you are going with 8 GB, 60 GB only, you will get more performance for your system. So if you are going behind that one means, so how much bigger kind of applications you are handling, you can check it. Okay. So if you see instance type, CPU's memory. Okay. So 96 GB memory. If you are going with the C5 2 level large, it is a 96 GB memory. Okay. C5, you can see here n number of things, 8 GB, 64 GB. Okay. So when you see the families here, okay, these are the things. Okay. So if you see here, these are the instance type. Instance type have total 437 instances are there. So what are the names? It starts with T. So these are called as a T family. T1.micro, T2.nano, T2.nano, T2.small, T2.medium, T2 large. Okay. So these are the basic kind of applications you are going to work it. And these are the memory. Okay. So T2 micro is 1 GB. If you want to go with T2 large, 8 GB. So if you want to go with T2X, T2.2X large, it's 32 GB. So these are the T families. If you go beyond that one, there is a C family is available. So it is also supported the GBs. 192 GB also it is supported. Okay. So T C family is done. So if you want to go with second page, C family, you can see D family here. You can see 384. So when to choose which type of families? Okay. So based upon your application, what type of application we are handling it. So either web-based application, web application. Suppose you are handling the application which is web-based application like Amazon, Flipkart, okay, Gmail, Google. So when you are doing from the accessing any application from the browser, so those type of applications we are going to call as a web-based applications. Okay, so when you're going to the browser and typing flipkart.com, so you are accessing some application from the browser. You are browsing the products, you are adding the items to the cart, paying the billing. Okay, so these kind of applications, like n number of users from the accessing the application. So those type of applications is called web-based applications. So based upon the number of users accessing the application, so they will select the instance type. So web-based applications, they will go with 16 GB, 30 GB like that. So if it is a video processing, something like Amazon Prime is there, Netflix is there. Okay, so if you want to upload any kind of image, if you want to process the data of the big kind of a data applications like image uploads or videos upload, if you are processing the upload, okay, downloading, viewing, uploading, okay. So these type of applications, if you are going to handle it, so they are going to go with another kind of a instance types. Okay, so they will tell the things, which type of instance type we need to select it. Okay, so we should have the basic knowledge on what is our instance types. Okay, so here we can go with RAM selection. Okay, so in our scenario, we are going only with the free type, but in the real time scenario, it will not be the free type. Next is a key pair. So key pair is nothing but here key pair. Key pair is nothing but there will be public and private key will be there. We are downloading private key. Okay, it may be any name you can give it. Okay, you can give any name for it. So for example, I want to create a new key pair. So click on create new key pair. The new key pair name is something like testing I'm doing. Okay, so click on okay, so create a key pair. Okay, so show in folder key pair got downloaded. You can see the extension of the key pair is PEM file. Okay, so for logging for the putty, So if you want to log into the putty for this server, any kind of a server, if you want to log in this, it will not accept the PEM file. It should be the PPK extensions. Okay, so always the file will be in the PEM file. So we are expecting the PPK format. Okay, so PEM file will be downloaded. We are going to convert the PEM file to the PPK file. So to connect to your Linux service, it is always to the PPK file. Okay, so now the key pair got generated. Network settings. So if you click on the networking, so if you want to launch your server, so this is one type of a network. In that, we are going to launch our server. So this is AWS created network. Okay. So when you comes to the VPC, you can know how to create your own network. Okay. So how we are getting system, this IP address, everything we can see in the VPC section. Okay. So now in the default VPC is nothing but virtual private cloud. It contains the network related information. Okay. So in this network only, we are going to launch our current server. Okay. So if you want to change any settings, we can do it. Okay. So this is the one. And the next thing is we have very, very important thing is security groups. Okay. Security groups are very important. I told it. So these are the security groups. So we should know some default ports for any kind of thing. Okay. So default ports will be there. So if you are connecting to your Linux machine, so we always connect to Linux machine via SSH. So the default port of SSH is 22. Okay. So if you are connecting through Windows machine, we are going to call it that connection is remote desktop connection. RDP connection we will call it as. So that will be running on the port 3389. Okay. So Linux means we are connecting via SSH. The port 22 should be enabled in the server. Then only we can connect it via SSH. So for Windows, we are connecting through RDP connection, remote desktop connection. So the default port is 3389. So if you want to connect to the Linux machine, we need to enable that particular port. Okay. So this is called as a security groups. So defaultly when you are launching the Linux machine, SSH port is defaultly, it will be added. Okay. Another thing is source anywhere is there. Okay. So we can, anywhere is nothing but any person, anywhere in the world. This is nothing but any person can, if you want to connect to your Linux machine, so 0.0.0.0. If you specify like this, it means that you are giving the access to the entire person. Means this any person from any IP address, you are allowing to giving the request to the server. But this is not recommended in the real-time scenario. Okay, so anywhere is not recommended. We will do the specific things. So how to update this also I will tell you. So now we need to focus on the testing keeper, right? Okay. So click on the launch instance. The instance will be launched. Okay. So here. Okay. So once you launch it, you can see every instance have the unique instance ID. So here, if you go to the security, so one security group will be created. We can open the security group. You can clearly see the inbound rules. These are the outbound rules. Okay. So as I told, so if you want to give access to this server, to whom you want to give access, and from there where you want to access, those things we will define under the inbound and outbound rules. If you want to edit this networking or firewall rules, so we need to check what is the security group. It is available in the security tab. So click on edit inbound rules. SSH port is enabled. So we can click add rule. Okay. So custom TCP rule, we can have it. So these are the default ports it will be supported. If you are going with network file system, the default port is 204. We don't have the edit option is there. If you want to connect with MySQL, 3306 port. Okay, we should remember these ports. What is the default port of MySQL? What is the default port of SSH? What is the default port of RDP? What is the default port of HTTP? What is the default port of HTTPS? Okay, so these are the questions they will ask in the real-time scenario. So HTTP is HTTPS 443. Okay, so MySQL. So these are the default port per. These are universal and these are the fixed one. We can't change these ports. If somebody asking about the SSH with 22, that port we can't change it, and that the reason that is in the disabled mode. Okay, so if you want to add one more rule, n number of rules, we can add it. Select which one you want to have it. Okay, I want to enable HTTPS. 443. I want to enable HTTP 80 port. Okay, so I want to enable the LDAP connection. Okay, so LDAP is 380. Okay, so these are the ports which are showing here. These are the fixed one. We can't delete it. We can't edit it. Okay, so these are disabled mode. Okay, so this port is enabled here. If you want to enable the ports, we can enable like this. Okay, so I want to give for all the users. We have one more option called all traffic is there. So we have anywhere. Okay, only to the my IP address I want to give it. So this is my IP address. Okay, so go to the browser, search for my IP. You can see 124, 123, 190, 112. Okay, so this is my IP address. You can see. Okay, to my IP address, I am giving the permissions. Just click on the save rules. Okay, automatically it will be reflected here. Okay, so next thing is we have the details. So if you are going to log into this Linux server, we always choose the public IP address. Okay, so there will be two IP addresses are there. So one is public IP, another one is private IP. Okay, so public IP outside of your network, anywhere we can access. Anywhere is nothing but this is your network. So this is outside the network. Okay, so from outside the network also, if you're trying to connect to this server, we can able to connect it. So outside also we can connect it, but private IP is nothing but so within the organization level, within this network only, we are able to communicate each other. Okay, so that is the private IP address. Private IP address only have access to the internal organization level only. Public access we can access anywhere. Okay, so that is the main difference between the public IP and private IP. This is the thing we need to remember it. Public IP, always you need to choose the public IP. Okay, when to log into the server? So there will be one status check is there. So what is the status checks comes 2 by 2. Means everything the OS installation, what are the things they have it, bootstrap scripts and everything they got installed. So everything we can go with. So server is ready to log in. We can check by using the status check 2 by 2. So this is the way we can. Okay. So once you got the status check 2 by 2, then we can able to log into the server. So here we can, if you want to know the server details, is the server details. Okay. So instance ID is the unique, public IP is the unique, private IP will n number of times if you restart, this IP will never change. Okay. So next thing is security groups, networking. So this is our network details, storage, how many drives we have added, only the single drive we have got added, status checks. Now check past, which is reachability is check past. Okay, so monitoring, CPU utilization, how the networking in and out. So if you want monitor this server, we can monitor. So tags, What is the key value name? We are providing at the name that only with this taking as a name, key and value. If you want to manage this one, go here and tags. Just it will not do anything. It's a key value pair. Just it for only for filtering purpose, it will be used. Now, in order to log into this server, once we get the status check 2 by 2, so we can take the public IP and we can log in. But before that, so we have created the PEM file. In order to log into the Windows Linux server, we should have the PPK file. So once you download the putty, so there will be one more tool called putty key generator. So this will comes along with the putty only. So once you download the putty, the additional software putty key generator also it will come. So you can download this also. So here we have the load option is there. So click on the load button. Go to the download section. So you are not able to see the PEM file, but here if you see in the downloads folder, we are able to see. Okay. So the default filter is here. PPK files only it is able to search it, but we don't have the PPK files. So we need to click on all files. Okay. Once you see the all files, you need to select the testing file, save the private. That's it. Okay. Testing. Any name you can give it. Now you can see we have converted the PEM file to the PPK. PPK putty private key file. Okay. So the symbol looks like this. With the help of this key only, PPK file only, we can able to connect to the server. So go to the putty, take your Linux server, take your public IP of that server, click that server, click on the host name, authenticate. So SSH is there on the left side. So expand that one, click on authenticate one. You are able to see private key file for authentication. Just to select the browse button. Okay, so downloads, select your key. Okay, so open, accept. So defaultly we have to choose. Okay, so defaultly for CentOS machines, the default username is EC-user. So if you are able to see the IP address means we have successfully logged into the things. If you want to change the colors, fonts, everything, you can change it. So colors we can use. Okay, so appearance, click on the change. If you want to go with, okay. In this way, we will log into the Linux server. So here we can perform the commands. What are the Linux commands you want to perform it? ls. Okay. Okay. In this way, we can log into the Linux server. Same thing will be applicable for the Ubuntu server also. The OS selection is different and the username will be Ubuntu. Remaining process is same. Only under the OS selection for Windows or Linux one, all these steps are common. Storage, security group, stacks, review, key pair, AMI. Okay, everything is same. So different flavors and different voice. Only the AMI ID selection is different. Okay, same thing if you want to go for the Ubuntu, click on the launch instance. Ubuntu. Okay, so here we have different flavors are there. You can click on the Ubuntu. Okay, so based upon the requirement, you can choose it. Okay, so free tier eligibility, we have 20.04 version is there, 22.04 version is there. So free tier 18.04 also there. So based upon your requirement, you can choose the free tier eligible. I don't want to go with free tier. If you want to go with license, if you are not seeing the free tier means, so this is a Ubuntu 20.40 is this is a licensed version. Okay, so this is a licensed version. This is licensed. This is licensed. This is licensed. Okay, so I going with 22.04. Remaining steps are same. So keep it. I can choose the existing one only. One single key pair I can use for n number of servers. Okay, so if you want to create a new key pair, again we can create the new pair. If you don't want to create the new key pair, we can go with existing key pair only. Okay, so testing. Remaining steps are same. Click on the launch instance. Okay, view all instances. Now Ubuntu server got created. Okay, so Okay, so these are the default usernames for. Okay, so based upon your AMI selections, the username will vary. Okay, for example, we have taken the CentOS AMI. Okay, CentOS AMI, we can go with username as CentOS or EC2 user. Okay, so Linux AMI is EC2 user. Debian, if you're going with the Debian AMI, if you're selecting, so the username is admin. Okay, so Fedora, remember EC2 user only. RHL AMI, EC2 user. SUS, EC2 user. For Ubuntu, it is Ubuntu. You can see only the difference here is everything is EC2 user only. Only for the Ubuntu AMI only, the username is Ubuntu. If you go for the Oracle AMI, EC2 user. Okay, so Bitnami AMI, if you are going, Bitnami is there. For Ubuntu, Ubuntu. That's it. So remaining all the things, maximum it will be EC2 user only. That's the reason I want to show for the Ubuntu also. So click on the EC2. Refresh. So still is in installation shares. So once it is between 2x2 status check, then we can log into the server. Okay. So remember the usernames here. Okay. So for CentOS AMIs, EC2 user only remember because CentOS also if you give also it will log in, but EC2 user is the common for almost all AMI IDs, Linux flavors, EC2 only for the Ubuntu, it will be Ubuntu. And Debian, it is admin. Only three things we need to remember it. So remaining all the things is almost EC2 user only. Okay. So now we can go and check here one more time. Okay. So go to the Ubuntu, same process, take the public IP. Enter the host name, public IP, SSH, authentication, browse, testing, open, accept. Here, we need to give the Ubuntu. Okay, so Ubuntu, if you see, so if you want to confirm it, so here, this is the private IP address of that system. So you go here, you can check private IP. 27.165, 27.165. Okay, so for Ubuntu machines, username is Ubuntu. So almost remaining all the usernames is EC2 user. Okay, so this is the way we can launch the servers. Okay, so if you give wrongly, so this is Ubuntu server. I click the username, select this, same thing. Okay, so instead of Ubuntu, I'm passing the username as EC2 user. So no supported authentication methods are available, servers and public key. Okay, so if you pass wrongly the username, so the server connection refused out key, it will come out. Okay, so this is the way it will be done. So if you are not enabling the, so if you see the security groups, open the security group of this Ubuntu, edit inbound rules. Okay, so if you delete this one also, 22 port is not enabling. So if you delete the 22 port, we don't have any inbound rules. Click on the save rules. Okay, so try to connect the same Ubuntu server now. Public IP, SSH, authentication, browse. See, it is not asking for the username also. Okay, so you will see network error connection timed out. So if you are getting this type of error like net connection timed out error, so this means that you have a problem with your networking rules like inbound rules when I'm trying to connect from my local machine. So this is my local laptop. From this laptop, I'm trying to connect to the AWS server. So this my IP address has to understand the AWS server. So it has to be allow me my IP address, and also we are disabled or we have removed the 22 port. So it is not asking the username also. We are getting the network error connection error. Okay. So to fix this one, we need to go to the security groups, Know your security group, edit your inbound rules, add rule, SSH. Okay. So if you want to do this one, that's it. Now try to connect to the same server. Go to the details tab, take the public IP, click on authenticate, browse. Okay. Now we are able to connect it. Okay. So my IP address, I'm able to allow it. And also SSH port, we are connecting all the Linux machines through SSH port. So the 22 port should be enabled. Okay. So in this way, we are able to connect to the servers. So mainly the servers will be rely on the networking security groups only. So if you want to have any problem with your networking, so you are not able to connect to the server, you are getting the connection refused. Okay. So instead of creating one key, you are trying to log in with one more key pair. So that is also get a problem. Okay. So if you want to know which key pair, you can come a little bit, right? You can see the key name. Okay. So the PEM file name is testing. So what is the PPK file name which we use it for the testing? You can go with that PPK file. So with single PEM file, this is a single PEM file. We can create a multiple PPK files. With a single PEM file, we can create a multiple PPK files. So go to the putty key generator. Again, we load it. Okay. Apply all files. Select the testing. Okay. Save private key. Yes. I want to go with AWS batch 7 AM. So this is the one more. Okay. So I want to go with one more AWS batch. Okay. So with the single PEM file, we can create multiple PPK files. Okay. So we can create a number of PPK files. But if you lost this PEM file, you should have attached to the PPK files. So if the PPK files is lost, again the PEM file is lost, then you are not able to log into the server. Okay. So if you want to log into the server, we should have the PPK files. Okay. So to these PPK files, we can create with the help of the PEM file only. So we can choose any PPK file to log into the server. So select the server, take the public IP. Okay. So click open, close, SSH, authenticate, browse. Okay. We can go with anything because from the same PEM file, we have created multiple PPK files. We can choose anything. Okay. Got it? So with a single PEM file, we can create a number of PPK files. But if you lost the PEM file, and also if you lost the PPK files, you can't able to log into the server. So we should be very careful with the PEM files. Okay. So if you lost these three PPK files, fine. I lost all the three PPK files. I have deleted it. But still, if you have the PEM file, so we can go to the putty key, load the PEM file, load the PEM file, save the file. Okay. Lost any name you can give it. Okay. This is the PPK file. Again, we can go to the any server. You take any server, both the servers are same. Take this SSH, authenticate, browse. Okay. Log into the server, relies on the PPK file. Okay. So we can log in with any number, any type of PPK file, but the PPK file has to be created from the PEM file itself. So what is the PEM file of this servers? So from this servers only, the PPK file will be there. Okay. Hope you guys understand the concept.
Sham on doubt.
Yeah.
Real-time scenario, yeah, friends. So public IP.
Yeah, public IP people use it.
Public IP different వస్తుంది కదా. Start చేసినప్పుడు restart చేసినప్పుడు instant.
So I will tell that the process. Okay. So
Okay.
public IP, how we restarted, how we are getting, I will change, I will tell in the coming classes. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So for every server, we'll have the things and there are various options are available. So if you want to stop, so once you do the practice, so always the billing will be varies, right? So when the server is running, the billing started. Okay. So it's a hourly based is there purely. So out of hour, if you are running 30 minutes, 20 minutes also, they are calculating is a hourly based only. Okay. So previously hourly based is there. Now they have started the minute based. Okay. So if you are keeping your server 5 minutes, they are calculating 5 minutes. If you are keeping your server 30 minutes also, they are calculating the bill for the 30 minutes. Okay. So 0.0001 like that it will be there per minute. Okay. So how many hours you are running, that much billing you will get it. Okay. So if you are practicing something, you practice anything. So still if you are required to practice the server after certain time, so just select this server. Here we have the instance state is there. We have multiple options are there. Stop it, or if you don't require the server, we can terminate the server. So click on the stop. So before the stopping, so whenever you start the AWS EC2 servers, okay. So whenever you select the server, so always this is the public IP. So private IP and public IP will be there. So public IP, when you restart the server, the new IP address will come. Okay. So for example, this is a test server. My public IP is this one. Now my work is done, but still I want to keep the server because I want to practice after certain time. So instead of keeping the status in the running state, what we can do, so we can keep the server in the stop state. Okay, so you can refresh the page. It is in the stopping state. Okay, so once it got stopped, we are not able to log into the server. Okay, so once you are it is getting stopped, our IP address will go off. Okay, refresh the page. So the instance got stopped here. You can select this server. You can see the public IP got vanished. The private IP will be always same. How many times you refresh or restart it, it will be gone. Okay, you can't log into the server at the stop state. Okay, so now this is the previous IP address for the public IP. But when you restart certain time, like if you don't know, if you want to practice again, so we need to start the server again. Go to the instance state. Again, we have the start instance. Okay, so again, it will come to the running state and status 2 by 2 comes. So now that time we can log into the server. Okay, so meanwhile the server is getting ready. So we will try to launch with the Windows machine also. So click on the launch instance. Okay, so go with the Windows server. Okay, any name. So here we have the flavor like Windows. Okay, so here we have the free tier eligibility is there. So if you don't want to go with the free tier eligibility, these are the license versions. Okay, so Windows 2012 based one. Okay, so we can go with any type of thing we want with MySQL SQL Server 2017. If you want to come built in with your Windows, so we can go with these things. Okay, here we can go with free tier. Remaining steps are all same. So key pair, we can use the same key pair for any type of OS, Windows or Linux. We can use the same key pair. Click on launch instance. View all instances. Okay, so this is getting ready. So now if you see the test server, the IP address will vary. Okay, so this is old IP, this is new IP. Okay, so actually why AWS is creating a new IP is, so always it is in a pool and will try to pick up the IP address from the pool. So they don't want to, if the server is getting stopped, they don't want to waste the IP address. So they can assign this IP address to some other system. That's the reason what the AWS is thought. So they don't want to keep dedicatedly, they don't want to assign the IP address for the any kind of a server. Okay, so that's the reason when you restart the server from the pool, what are the free IP address which is are available in the pool? So it will take that IP address and it will be allocated to the system. But with this IP address also, we can log into the server. No issues with the IP address. Okay, so take your open. Okay, so IP address will be assigned to the server based upon the pool. It has some pool of IP addresses are there. So it is, if you are keep on running, if you are keep on running the server, there is no issue with the IP address. But when you click on the stop and or when you are doing the restarting, rebooting is nothing but restarting the server. When you do the stop and restart or restarting the server directly, if you are doing, so this public IP address will change. Okay, so if you want to have the fixed IP, I want fixed IP even n number of times. Restart. How many times you restart? I want to have the fixed IP. Then one more concept is there that is called as elastic IP. Okay, so elastic IP is one kind of IP address. So how many times you restart it? But if you don't want to keep it fixed IP address, then we'll go with elastic IP. Okay, so we will see in the coming classes. So now we know how to do it. So now we are going to see the Windows server. So how to connect with the Windows servers? So for Windows server, we don't require any additional softwares like putty. Okay, so for Linux machines only, we require putty machines. All right, for Windows, we don't want any softwares. We can directly log into the servers. Okay, so here we need to know. So in our, for every Windows server and Linux servers, so we have the PEM file or PPK file. Right, so with the help of PEM file, what we will do, so we will generate the password. Okay, so we will generate the password, and with the help of the password only, we will log into the Windows machines. Okay, so the default username for the Windows is administrator. Okay, so if you want to connect to the Windows machine, so press Windows R button and we can use RDP. Okay, so RDP not, sorry, it should be MSTCS. Okay, so if you give Windows R in your from your local machine and go to the Windows R and type MSTCS. So when you do the MSTCS, you can see RDP connection. Like, okay, RDP means remote desktop connection. Okay, so here to which IP address you want to connect it, that IP address will be entered. For example, you are going to connect to the Windows server. So select this one. Okay, so once you click on connect, you'll ask for the username and password. Okay, so username is administrator and password is we need to select the password. So this is the way we can, if you have the username and password, we can connect. Okay, so this is the way we can connect it for the normal Windows machine. But for the AWS Windows machines, okay, so here click on the connect button. There is a connect button is there. Just click on the connect button. You can see RDP client, session manager, serial console. So three ways we can access this. So one of the main method is RDP client. So we can download the RDP file and the default username is always administrator. And this is the DNS name or the public IP, we can call it as. So we can directly get the public IP and username automatically will comes. So now in order to get the password, so click on the get password. Okay, so it is asking the key pair associated with the instances testing. So just upload your private key file. Just click on upload your private key file. Take Ubuntu. Okay, so decrypt the password. What happened?
Bro, PEM file is wrong thing, I think.
Okay.
Testing is a PEM file, right?
Okay, so testing is the PEM file, right? Okay. Yeah. So we have selected the testing, right? So we have gone to the DevOps batch, I guess. So let me show one more time, guys. So click on the instances, click on the Windows server where you want to connect it. So click on the connect button. Okay, so three options are available to connect to the Windows server. So click on the RDP client. Okay, so here the DNS name is the nothing but your IP address, which IP address you want to connect it. So we can go with IP address or the DNS name. Okay, so this is the one, or we can go with this also. Okay, so next we have required the username. Username is administrator. Okay, so now we require the password. So we don't know the password. We have only the key pair file. So just click on the username is the administrator. This is the host name and get password. We need to upload which one? Testing. Okay, private key file testing. Okay, testing. So decrypt the password. Okay, so this is the password. If you don't know how to copy it, there is a symbol called, this is the two square brackets are there. Just click that one. So the password get copied. This is the password of system. Okay, so in order to connect to the Windows machine, so click on download remote desktop file. So double click this file. You can see hostname is already selected, username is already selected. Just we need to enter our password. Okay, you can see we have entered the password. Click OK. Yes. Okay, here you can see the computer symbol. Just click here. So it is loading. Once you loaded, how we are seeing your local machine. Same thing, it's a virtual one more Windows machine. We are able to launch it. Okay, so how we are launching the Linux machine. Same thing, we are able to launch our one more server called Windows. Okay, so what are the activities you want to perform in this Windows machine? We can perform it. Okay, so it's here. Once you click on the computer symbol, this one. Right? Is loading. Okay, you can see same server manager, anything if you want to do any kind of activity. So we can do all the activities. How we are seeing your local Windows machine. Same thing as virtual one more Windows machine. We can see it. Okay. So if you want to create any new file, if you want to perform any activities, okay. So we can do any kind of activity, how we are performing in local machine. Same thing we can do in our Windows server. Okay. So we can connect with n number of times. We can close it if you want to disconnect it. So if you want to connect it again, connect it. Ask for the password, enter the password and click on OK. Yes. That's it. Okay. So in this way, we can connect with the Linux machine and we can connect with the Windows machine. Okay. So any doubts, guys? Any questions?
No, sure.
Okay. So try to practice every day the class so that you will be easily understanding. So everything is looks like good only. So one more thing is like, so now the instance type is T2.micro. So I want to upgrade it. So in the same scenario, like if you have the 4 GB of your system, I want to upgrade to the 8 GB. We will place an order or we'll go to the computer shop, we will purchase it. But here in the AWS virtual thing, right? So everything we can upgrade directly. So now I want to go with T2 micro is a 1 GB RAM. I want to go with 8 GB. So what we can do, if you want to upgrade anything, so we need to stop the instance first. Okay. T2.micro we have stopped. Once it is stopped, we can upgrade the server from any type of a GB. Okay. So T2.micro is a 1 GB. So I want to upgrade to the 8 GB.
Bro, how to change in CLI for server update?
Yeah, we will see the command that one also. The instance got stopped now. Now we can click this one, actions, instance settings. These many things we have the options to change it. So there is option to change instance type. So click that instance type. So current instance type is T2.micro. Change which one you want it. Okay. So first of all, we should know which one is which one. Okay. So T2.medium. Okay. So if you go for the T2.medium, it's a 4 GB. T2X large, T2X large. Okay. So we can go with T2 medium. Now I want to change the within a fraction of seconds, fraction of minutes, we can change from 1 GB to another GB. Okay. So everything is a virtual. Now we can instance type start the instance. That's it. Previously we have the T2 micro is there. So now we can upgrade the server from one RAM to another RAM. So how we do it in the local side and company side, we need to raise the request. So if you are working as a in the organization level, so if your performance of your system goes down, we will send the request to the team lead. So he has to approve, he has to go to the admin team. They have to come, one person has to be allocated and he has to come and fix it. So these many things will be there in the real time. But if you go for the cloud, so everything in our hands to upgrade or degrade or anything if you want to do it, so we can do it. Okay, it's in our hands. That too in a fraction of seconds, minutes, within the minutes, we can do the upgradations also. Okay, so same type of if you want to, I want to practice on Windows machine means, so we need to, if you want to work with virtual desktops or virtual machines, if you want it, always through approve process, it will go in the real time. But if you want to do practice something, some logical part you want to implement it. So to for practicing purpose, if you require a service, so we can go with AWS and we can launch a number of servers. Once you practice, you terminate the servers. Okay, it's like a flexible to use it and okay, like okay. So everybody understood? So tomorrow we will see some more concepts. Okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah.